Good afternoon, one and all. I am. You can you can see I was at one point here. I was getting a little distracted by doggo stuff there. They have these little. Alexa, stop! They have these little ball things. They go in a. They go in. They look like peanut butter balls, right? But they're way too firm and they're actually safe at room temperature. They won't get all stopped and gooey. And they're hard enough. And you put them in these little twist open containers and they just lick in there. And it gives them something to do for 10, 15, 20 minutes. It's a little treat. But of course you use them all up and then I'm like, how do I do this without buying these? Because they're really expensive. How is there a cheap way to like turn peanut butter into a dog treat, you know? So I was kind of looking to see if there's a way to firm it up, and some people had some ideas. So maybe I'll have to try that sometime. Anyway, so recent efforts have had me trying to get the last piece of the game plan puzzle in place, which is this guy, right? So you can see it's not fully loading though, and my button's not working. My close button's not doing its job. So I just put it on. I put a close button on there, and of course it doesn't work. So whatever, I can see it clicking, but it's not closing. Plus, something's like this should have opened up, which it did not. So we're not quite where I want to be. But I thought I'd get online and maybe chit chat a bit. If anybody's got any input, let me hold on. I'm almost there. Got to get things updated so that you know, these things can be searched accordingly, right? Okay. Now I'm back. Okay, there, we're back. So now people won't find me when they don't want to find me. Okay. So this is a very simplistic one. You can see I click my little button, nothing happens. So I've got to figure that out. I thought I had I put the cancel button on here, but it's not doing anything. So let's go over here. Plus, the correct situation isn't loading, so that's not good. So basically what's supposed to happen is, all right, so if I'm on here, the first thing that loads is the one that's related to the special situation. So when it loaded, there's stuff that's irritating me here. So I don't like, it's not set quite right, and I kind of trying to clean up a lot of it because it was really messed up, you know, AI. So I have to clean up some of what AI does sometimes. It's not really always a matter of the code not functioning. It's just sometimes it's not organized well. It's got some extra stuff. I gotta go in there and smooth it out, get the garbage out of there, and just kind of clean it up. So that is kind of an AI thing you got to do to keep it from getting to become a disaster. So I have the game plan UI here. So when I go on to his page, what's supposed to happen is You can see over here, I've got these panels, special situation panel, situation panel. Those are loading up fine. Those are doing their job. But when I click on, say, the situation panel, which is the one that which is the one I'm kind of trying to get working right now. So that means I can turn off the situation. So that one loads up this one, and then this one is correctly loading up the add edit situation, but what it's not doing is actually activating the correct panel. The panel's coming up blank. And so add edit situation, for example, here, I have two situations. I have this, I have the basic offense, defense. This is what's going. My music's loud? Really? I barely hear it. Do I even have my desktop auto? My desktop audio is not even on. What the heck? Really? Huh. Music's loud. Oh, there it is. There. There. Now no music at all. You lose it. No music for you. I mean, you can still hear it probably, but it's just faintly in the background now. How would I know that? I wouldn't. I don't know what's going on your computer. So nope, I don't have anything else going. So now you just hear it in the background. I mean, I do have music going, but it shouldn't be as loud now because it's no longer being fed into the stream. I had it on though. Anyway, so yeah, I gotta get my my mappings right here. So when this loads up, it's loading that correctly, and then when it comes in and opens the special situation loads up, that's the special situations panel, which has an add new. Add new opens that. Add new should, which is probably part of this. All right, so that should in turn open the add edit situations panel. All right, let's go in here. And then we have to go find the add new, which it does. There's probably a listener for it. Let's see, challenge slider, ball, slider, slider, distance, slider, slider, toss, slider. Special situations panel, okay. Set all those are slider listeners. Button listener, here we go. Add new, item clicked. And then we're gonna go down to here. Special situation, that's the new situation. Open edit pop-up, whatever that is. All right, add edit situation panel is null. That's if it's null, we complain. Oddly enough, I don't like doing this here because sometimes it's like if I were to see, AI likes to put these where you are, but it'll do this a bunch of times, which is kind of irritating. All right, I guess it's not doing it there. But sometimes you'll see this on like 5 different functions. Okay, you do that. Good luck. I'll try not to be overly expressive in inappropriate amounts. Okay, so anyway. I do have background music going, and the reason I have that going is because it actually helps me to stay on task. I get distracted sometimes. And conversation is different, but I mean, like, if I'm sitting here working and if it's just silent, my brain kind of goes phone, oh, food. I'm like squirrel. I get, but when the music's there, it's like brings me in, and I'm on top. Unless somebody comes and says hi. You want to say hi? Come here. Come here. You want to say hi? Just gotta let me say hi to you. Come on. This is our littlest puppy. This is the little puppy. This is my wife's puppy. Huh, you're my wife's puppy. Your mom's puppy. But you come down here and say hi to me because you're bored when mom's not home, huh? Yeah. I know, you're like, what the heck, man? I don't know what to do in this chair. All right. Come on, you can get it. All right, so anyway, I gotta figure out. We gotta correct show special panel, add edit situation. So we got a problem. It's not showing this panel. What is sit? Sit? Oh, situation. I don't know what that is. Let's go look at this, because this is not working. Oh, sit to situation. That must be what it's passing in. I don't know. Specials. Okay, that's what it's gonna load. And then is new, we'll send in the boolean, then it's new. Okay. But where is it actually activating said panel? All right, set active right here. Situation settings panel if it's not null. See, then we do all these things. And then we got situation settings panel. So if it's situation settings panel, we're going to set this one false if it's active. Makes sense. All right, let's go ahead and put a break here. And then we're going to attach this. See why. Why wasn't it loading? And I got to go look at why my my close button. Okay, so I was gonna go with the old tap somewhere outside of the panel to close it, so you don't have to have X's everywhere. I hate X's, but X's kind of are just. I think they're more intuitive. I mean, there's an X. Click. Closes. Everybody knows what X does. If you're like, how do I get out of the screen? And you're just like tapping everywhere and then it just goes off. You're like, oh, I got to be outside of the screen. So, I don't know. See, this... Oh, for one, go away. Why is this open? I got to make that close automatically. Okay. So we're on this. I click back here, and go here. So we're loading the right things up here. But then when I click here... I don't know why we're taking this route. I mean, why is it taking this route? Why isn't it just opening this? Because we could pass the situation in here. We could still say it's new, wherever it's being called. I don't understand why. AI does this a lot too. AI likes to create like wrappers that are like, how is that helping me? I think it wraps it because it's putting this check first. So now every single time that I open the edit, it's going to check. I prefer this to do that on the open, on the application open. or on the initial screen open, and then just get it all out of the way, and then put errors. Because honestly, if they don't exist, it's the app's broken, right? I mean, if it's doing checks along the way, then you're like, why is it, not telling me sooner? I'd rather just blow up on right out the gate, but whatever. All right, so we got that. Okay, so this one is probably going to be false, but that should be fine. All right, so we're good. Now, are we actually opening the right panel? Add, edit. Special situation panel, get component, add, edit. Special situation. What do we get here? Or not null. So it should show the panel. But now we have a wrapper again because it's being dumb. We have another wrapper. Show panel. Why isn't it loading it? Where's the game object? Okay, so we're gonna, can we, oh. Yeah, I mean, we got, well, there is no data. These should all be empty, because this is a new one. That should all be, again, that's not going to have. You can't have zero. That's not a thing. it's WLT. There is no zero. Well, that just means not set, I guess. And where's W? That's like, we're missing W. AI, you're a goon sometimes. Set value without notify. My background music just had a weird thing on it. I'm like, what the heck is that? Okay. So, and then this sets it true. Special settings panel. So we do know what it is. So why didn't it open it? Oh, it did open it there. Oh, no, that's not right. My close did not close the right thing. My closed the panel. It didn't close the screen. It's like, no, you doodle head. That's not how that works. No wonder close didn't do anything before, because it was closing the wrong thing. Honestly, I don't even know why I have a separate close on all these. Why can't I just have, what is? I think part of the problem is this guy needs to have his own parts. I don't know. I think it needs to have its own parts. I don't like, I mean, just simple navigation stuff. Right now it doesn't have its own script. Because it did have its own script, because at one point it was just the situation panel, right? But now I moved the situation panel to its own thing because it's its own panel. But I think what I need is an actual. All right, I gotta do some stuff. I gotta do this. This is driving me nuts. I don't like it. It's not clear. It's just, it's not good for my brain. All right, so use Solution Explorer. Why is that over there? That's not where. I wish Microsoft would be consistent. Why do you have to do some things on the right, some things on the left? All right, let's do this. All right. So I have an add edit situation panel, which is what this is. So what I really need to do is create a situation settings panel, or a define situations panel. Yes, add edit. Yep, right. Add edit situation, and then we got the situation, define situation settings. Define, all right, situation. All right, fine, we'll just go with situation settings. We're gonna rename this because, oh yeah, it's gonna change everything. It's gonna break a bunch of stuff, but it should only be broken for a minute. So we're gonna go here. Sometimes I just have to, because honestly, I get anal about things not making sense. It's a problem of mine. I know, don't be like that, but can't help it, man. I just game settings panel. What is that? Oh, here we are. All right, so we need to rename this. We're gonna call this play situation settings. I don't know why. That's why I said play situation. It's the play situations. I'm gonna say yes. And then I have one up here called edit special situations, which I'm going to rename as well, because why not? Why not just break everything? We're going to rename that. And that's going to be just, what I named the other one? Play situation settings. So we're going to call this one special situation settings. There you go. Yes. Okay, so hopefully I didn't break anything. Hopefully it'll correctly find. Where's my error list? Hello, error list. Where'd you go? Why aren't you right here? I mean, I am, but okay, we don't have any errors. Good. So then we have to create a new one. Close this. And then I'm going to create a new one. I'm going to call this one Add Edit Situation Panel. And its sole purpose is to have, yep. Let's go up to my, what? Oh. We'll just create a new class. Where's this one right here? And we'll go Gameplan, and we'll just say add new class. Yeah. I'll call it add edit situations.cs. I don't even know if it needs to say panels. I mean, panel is, I know where it goes. That doesn't need to be called out for what it's going to be put on. Hopefully it's in the same Some of these things I don't even know if they work. What is double tap header? Handler. Oh, double tap. Oh, okay, so I know what that is. Drop down handler. Gameplan UI manager. Okay. Game situation row. Game situation row overlay? I don't know what that is. I got to go through. Okay, so there is a. I imported a tool that allows me to trace what's actually getting called in the app. It's pretty cool. Assuming it still works, because I don't see it on my I don't see it here anymore. Oh, it must be this one. Rendering debugger? No, that's not it. What the heck? Add tab. Maybe it's the profiler or inspector. No, not inspector. That's that. Is it profiler? Huh. I wonder. I'll have to find it. It's a tool that's really cool. I haven't been playing with it too much lately because I haven't gone into cleanup mode. Cleanup mode is something I have to do every now and then, but colorblind mode. Oh. Binding console logs. Yeah, I don't know where it went. It was here. It must have either stopped working or something. I don't know. I don't even use JetBrains Writer. Writer is like instead of Visual Studio. It's kind of a thing. Cinematic content. Yeah, I'm not there. Right. I'm getting distracted. Okay, so let's go back to my task. I don't need that right now, but anyway, it goes through and it tells you what code is being called. So when I'm ready to start going through and just clicking everything and seeing what's being triggered, what's being not, then I can kind of see, hey, what stuff is not being hit, and then I can go through and clean it up. That's why I installed it. It's pretty cool. It's pretty nifty, man. All right, so what I need to do is find the code in the add edit situations, or in the in the situation settings, special situation settings, and special situations panel. See, that's the thing. Why do I have two things? All right, so I have this. And then row settings panel, special situations settings, special situations. Oh, the settings are the definition of what comes from the panel. So that's fine. This is add edit situations. See, this is why it drives me bonkers. So I have the situations and I have the special situations panels, which are just on the game plan. And then I have the settings, which are special situation settings, and play situation settings, which is right above that. So play situation settings has all of the navigation, I think. Either that or it's UI Gameplan. That's probably Gameplan that's actually running that. Let's see, Gameplan UI. Now Gameplan UI has a set, unit filter buttons. Okay, so on unit filter buttons, it's adding a listener. And then we have offense, defense, and special. And that should be loading up the appropriate panels. And it's doing that. So I don't, assuming that still works, I won't be able to get very far, but let's go ahead and close this. I got to make sure we're functioning at each stage here. And because I'm going to add, because the add edit situations here is the main thing. We're going to go how is it not available yet? Oh, because it's no longer called add edit situations. We're going to go here. Nullable disabled. I want this thing to handle my navigation. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's the namespace is all broken there. So we're gonna change it to add edit situation. So is this one showing up as pop-up too? Yeah, I think that's part of it. We're not getting a proper consistency here. So I got this guy class-based special settings situation settings showing up as a mono behavior, and then this guy is being showed up as a pop-up, and that's probably fine because it's handling it like a pop-up. It shouldn't be handling it like a pop-up. No, that's not even. I'm not doing that. Probably should do namespaces like that, but we're gonna go here. This is all right. I'm just doing this because I don't know. I don't feel like handling. There's sometimes I just don't feel like handing things off to AI, even though I probably could and probably be done a lot faster. Go like that. Play. All right, it's time to split this because I need to see them both at the same time. Oh, I used to be able to do that. How do I add a new vertical? Weird. You used to be able, how do I split the panels? This is a Visual Studio 2026. I used to go here and just say add a new vertical. That's not what I wanted. I don't want to split that tab. Stupid. No. Really? Jeez. This is true. This is turning to be way more complicated than it should. Why did that? Just unsplit it. Go away. How do I go away? Man. 20. Okay, so this is the first time I just put 2026 on my computer a little while ago. I didn't realize it was going to be a thing. All right, fine. We're gonna. That's new tab. It's tab group right here. We go. There we go. Jeez. That was way more work than I wanted it to be. All right. So we're gonna go. This is just a public class. And then what I need to do is I don't need to have anything. So like the play situations doesn't need to have anything special. That's in fact, these just all the play situation cares about is running the stuff that's inside the panel, but it does need some information. But we're going to take this out because it doesn't need to be here. I'll put that over here, and we probably need to have this there too, just so that we know which panel we're opening. Actually, yeah, because we're going to say open add edit situations, and then it's going to go, oh, all right, well, let me navigate these guys. Let's say panel references. And then we're going to go down. I don't really need much. I just need it to be able to do the navigation so that when you click on when you open this up, it opens the right panel. I don't know, am I overthinking this? I think I might be overthinking this. What am I doing here? So I just don't want my play situations doing anything to do with special. There should be no special happening. Set up button listeners. It's like add edit situation. So I actually don't need the cancel button in here because that's not part of this. I'm going to put that over here. Which means I got to take the cancel button off of this guy. Why are we doing a double check on cancel on listeners? hide panel. No, we don't need a hide panel. We just need to close. Deactivate. Add. Edit. I'm gonna say that's on the awake. Yep. And we're just going to check for the cancel button here because I don't want to do this here. But that is the place situation settings. Transform parent find situations panel. Why don't we have just the situations panel there anyway? Why am I finding? I don't like having to find my panel. Why not just set it? If I have it, set it. The only time there should ever be a find, in my opinion, which is slower, right? Because it's got to search the hierarchy, is if you're dynamically creating something that might be there and might not, and you're going to do a check. Hey, I found this. Now let's do something with it. But if it's not dynamically created, shouldn't do a find. If you can just reference it, it's better. Because it's still going to have an object you have to point. Now, the only reason people do this, and to be fair, I was doing it some too, but as I learn more and more, I realize it's probably not very efficient, is because they don't want to assign every object. They're like, just put it in code. But if you do that, and you don't assign and you do the searches, you can never change the name of your object. Because if you change the name, it'll break. Because like situations panel, if it's not called situations panel anymore, this text won't fix. There's no fixing this because this is hard coded. If you serialize it and connect it through a serialized link, it'll update automatically if you change the name of it. It'll just, we're good. So if you don't have your object called situations panel, it's never going to find the situations panel. Now, I do have a situations panel, so that's not the point. But if I decided, like I'm doing renaming some things now, I'm not renaming my game objects, but I am renaming my code, so that's different, which is going to cause me some consternation, I'm sure. But I just got to decide what it is I'm trying to load here. I don't think I need this here because all I'm doing with this is saying we're going to turn things on. The add edit situations job is just to make sure that we have the right panels showing. It's all it's going to do. And then those panels can then do their thing because they'll be connected to their own code. So That's really all I want this to do. This is a pretty simple thing. I just want it to handle the navigation on its own. So on awake, we got to look at the unit. That's the filter row. That's this guy. Now, the situation needs it too, so I have to... We'll call it... no. I'll call it... I don't know. We'll just say filter. Oh, header. Oops. All right, so we'll have that. And then we have to say deactivate, add edit pop-up, which is going to be this, and then it's just going to be so on awake, it'll pop up, say show panel. Why would we game plan, add new button, game object. Okay, that's part of this. But why would we set panel root? Well, I think it's because I'm going in here calling show panel, and then I'm setting it active because it's part of this, which I don't want it to be. Stop it! Stop it, I say! So this should already be active. I don't think I need to do this anymore. What the heck? Is that it? Oh, nope. Man, I have a lot of places where this thing's trying to set the panel root active. Deactivate. Now we're going to put this panel root in here, but it's only because I want it on this one. I don't like the name of that, by the way. That's stupid. And I don't know. This whole eye pop-up thing is driving me bonkers too. I don't know why I need that. I think I'm getting rid of that. You're just turning everything off. You're gonna be like, why doesn't anything work anymore? Because breaking all my code. This is cleanup day today. All right, take control once again and tell AI, dude, what are you doing? So we need to do this. So how does it do that? Okay, so no, I'm just getting the values and then I'm loading the situation data, configuring UI. So we're gonna call this. We're gonna go show panel here. Public void show panel, and then we're going to go I don't think I want so on awake, then we call, so what I want Gameplan to do is call into, it's going to open that and then call show panel. Well, I got filter row. Let's do this first. All right, then we're going to go here and say filter row. So this whole method is just why are there two show panels here? Oh, that's play type selector. Play. Oh, that's not, that's the wrong. What else are you doing with filter row? Nothing? So is that guy deciding everything? So we open up add edit situation panel when those things trigger and it gets called and it calls the show panel, which is going to be, okay, so it's actually going to be, should be still based on the filter row though. We gotta see the right panel. Which I don't think that's part of my problem here. It's not showing the right panel. It's not loading them. All this does is this even checking on that? It's kind of funny. It's passing filter row, but it's not doing anything with filter row. Oh, that's play type selector. Must be looking at it. Panel root. See, now we're setting panel root again. Oh, that's play type selector. So that's the panel type selector. All right. This is untangling this ball of twine is kind of becoming a thing here. All right, so I decided to hand off this refactor. Hey, log. Sure. So sorry, I was distracted by trying to give a very detailed command to AI. Hi, guys. But I'm guessing I'd more likely read the joke than hear it. How's it going, girl? Leaving already? Just came down and say a quick hi and leave?
Thinking about my sandwich all day long.
Yeah, that was me at, I was out door dashing. I'm like, oh, I have a sandwich at home. And then I started thinking, oh my gosh, I gotta go home and eat. Oh, yeah, I'll have to think of one. I'll see what I can do. Hey, girl. Hi. What you got to say? Got something to say? No? You just outside messing around? Hey, love. Did you get through? Did work get better?
Yeah, I washed my pants. Thank goodness we have a washer and dryer in our room.
So you kind of have to when you have kids that are a little dangerous. Can you take these? Take these up for me. Thanks. Oh yeah, I use Claude all the time. I actually use 3 different AI tools. I use Claude Code, I use Bezi, and I used GitHub Copilot. And I use the bottom tier. You know, like if you go on YouTube and some of these guys are talking about them, oh, I have the $200 tier of all of them. I'm like, freaking A. I don't, that's some nice, they got some serious money flow. You realize what that is? That's $2,400 a year on each one. It's like, how do people do that? That's so much money being spent on your AI. No, I use Claude Code a lot. It is my favorite as well. I've tried, but GitHub Copilot will let you use multiple languages. So like if you're having trouble with Claude, you can try a ChatGPT, or you can switch over, try some different models. If for some reason Claude's not able to handle it. Mostly I use GitHub Copilot as a fallback though, because I'm using Claude as at the cheapest level. I tend to hit my limits pretty quick sometimes. So I'll go back and start using GitHub Copilot as my fallback. Just use it as my other tool. I do like features about all 3 of them. Now Bezi is not, it's kind of like GitHub Copilot. It uses, I think it actually uses Claude for its AI. But what it is it's an extension that works with Unity, and it will work with the hierarchy. It can even build objects. It can help in just kind of getting things going. Now, it's not great, but it'll put together the basic pieces to make it easier for you to go in and edit, get it the way you want it. It's kind of like Claude Code, right? So Claude Code will write code for you, and it'll kind of get things started, but you really do have to get in there and get your hands dirty to make it good. But AI, Claude Code will get you going. It'll kind of like, what I always tell people is Claude Code will create ideas, but it doesn't create projects. It doesn't create programs. So if you want something that's really, or I'm sorry, products, it won't create a product. If a product to me is something that's finished, it's clean, it's well thought out, and it's actually ready to be given to the world. AI can't do that. I mean, people have released things to the world that are mostly created by AI, but they're really generally not good. So you're kind of, I mean, yeah, you can, but a truly good product can't be done by AI. Yeah, it can't do it yet. But it is an excellent tool to help you make a product. And then you get in there, you get into the code. It's like today, right now, I've been doing these last few days for me. I've been going through and cleaning up a lot. I do this a lot. I'll work with AI. It builds stuff for me. And then I go through and kind of clean it up, take out all the little distractions and stuff that it left behind and clean it up, make it look solid, fix the things that are a little weird to me. I have a lot of years in programming experience, so when I look at it, I can often go, no, start tossing out. Because AI can create bloated code. But here's the trick. Once you have a solid format of code or a piece of code that is a good example for AI, whenever you do something new, you say, do it just like this, but, with my new requirements. And then AI is really good at creating new things out of old samples. So I've done that quite a bit. It helps. So as my application has gotten bigger and bigger, and I've created a lot of good solid samples, I can oftentimes get that next piece or the next little chunk done by saying, do it just like this, but, add this, do these things for it. And, create this function that does this, but use this as your model. Calling the data the same way, calling the sync manager the same way, calling or setting up your endpoints and your proto files. For me, I have a lot of different parts to create any new thing, but since I have so many well-structured, or to me anyway, well-structured setups now, AI has been really good with helping me create new pieces now, because I can tell it, just copy the exact same setup here, and then we're going to create new functions and methods for this new process. Yeah, you got to learn. Well, the big thing with AI is you've got to learn to do things in pieces. You'll see a lot of YouTubers say, give it, super detailed. The more detailed you can give it, the more likely it's going to get it right. But also, the smaller pieces you give it, the more likely it's going to get it right. Tell it exactly what you want in as much detail as you can. And it can oftentimes structure and build it. I've actually started other apps that I'm kind of in process of, but I try to manage them as I go. So when I have spare time or I want to distract myself for a while, I'll go work on one of the other apps. But yeah, it's a a local LLM. Yeah, I've thought about that, but I don't really have anywhere to run a local local machine. I could put a virtual machine on my current computer, but the problem is it's already overloaded. I'm using a Surface Pro 8, and yes, it's the top of the line Surface Pro 8, but it is a Surface Pro 8. And you start doing a lot of Unity, and you start streaming, and you start doing other stuff, graphics. I start to hit the limit of what my Surface can do. I ride this thing hard. It takes a beating. It's a great computer, but yeah, I probably do more on it than I should. Yeah, but that costs money, man. Anything that costs money is out of my budget. If it's more than free, I'm scraping by. So yeah, I'm developing this game right now on a $0 budget. So all I'm giving it is time, and my effort. It's not $0. I guess I have been paying for some AIs, but it's still, I'm pretty cheap, at least for now, till I actually have income. But truthfully, I'm not one of the people who are all that worried about it. I may have to try it one of these days. Maybe if this game produces any income, maybe I'll have to think about, trying something like that. I just don't know if it's worth it. Like I said, I I guess I'd have to see whether it's a big advantage, right? Because yeah, with a local LLM, you have to literally bring the LLM into your domain, and then you have to manage updating it and cleaning it, and I don't know. I feel like it's work I don't want to do. Just maintenance. I don't know if I want to bother. I don't know if I want to bother with the maintenance. Okay, so I have my situations. I have my special situations, which are the two things that these swap between. Now my add edit, and it has situations settings. So I need to go here. I'll have to try to add. So I'll put the panel root in here. And my cancel button in here. Which needs to be moved. Oh no, that's fine. And then I can get rid of, oh, did I already get rid of it? Oh, that's right. They were both referencing the same cancel button. Okay. Go back here. At the situation settings panel, which is this one. And the special settings panel, which is this one. And my filter row, which is this one. Uh-oh. This one? Right. Well, let's see what that does. Okay, so I should... Let's go see what that looks like. Get panel root, show panel. Open helpers, call by situation panel, special. Oh, we're getting better. This used to be a massive file. I've been trying to clean it up so it's not so big. It's coming along. I'm getting closer and closer. Okay, so the thing I've been working on this last week was this page, which is the last piece of the puzzle for the game plan manager. So I have, okay, so in order for me to start working on my sim, the actual game players moving on around on the field bit, I needed 3 pieces. I needed my roster, which means that's what I worked on, I think, mostly in January and February. I was getting it so it would build teams and put teams on the screen and getting that going. Yeah, that's a great way to do it. cleaning the code, you start learning what it's doing, and you're like, why is it doing this? And why is it doing that? And yeah, that's a great way to learn. It's a good way to, once you start to figure out what all of the things are and what's going on. As you learn more and more, you'll start finding that AI can create very bloated apps. So I have found that while I'm creating an app with AI, I have to get in there into the code. Sometimes I'll go a couple weeks without doing, I'll let AI do its thing. And then I get in there, all right, so now this app's kind of functioning. And then I go and start stepping through it and trying to see, all right, how do I clean it up? So I start cleaning stuff up. Sometimes I break a few things here and there, and I'll have AI kind of point out what I did. all right, sometimes I miss a reconnect, because what AI does is it creates something that works, and it's got, it's kind of like a ball of twine, and I like to straighten out the ball. Sometimes I disconnect a few of the strings because I'm like, well, that string's not even needed. That string's not needed. And every now and then I'm like, because all I can do is I can bypass these 7 strings, get rid of those, and just connect, and I'm doing this bit, and sometimes I'll be like, okay, what did I miss? Because something's not working anymore. And I was like, well, you didn't. Well, this is missing. And I'm like, oh, all right. Well, I'll plug it back. Usually, it's rarely that I was wrong in getting rid of the stuff. I just sometimes miss little pieces, and the AI will help me debug it. But yeah. So what I needed to get everything working was, one, I needed to get my roster. So now I have a team, right? So I have a team with all my players, and I can zoom in on the players and go see, I don't have a lot on them right now, but I can go look at their ratings. I got all this stuff kind of in there. So my whole team is now in the system, which is kind of nice. And I can click on them, and I can even reorder stuff if I want to, but I have to hold down here. Move him over here. So now he kind of shifts upward. So yeah, I can kind of start getting things going with the roster. So I got the roster set up, and then I got my playbook, which is mostly functioning. There's a couple little things I need to work on. I've only added a few plays to the default, but it was mostly just to kind of make sure that things were doing what they have to. Now I think I've kind of broken some stuff, so I don't know what's fully adding in again. So you can see it's kind of slow. I don't know what's going on there. There's something weird about how slow it is, but it goes in, it adds my other play, and then I can go into my user. Now that user has these plays available. I will be giving the users other plays that are outside of the default playbook, but right now there's this. And then I can do the same thing with the coach. Coach, I can create his own playbook, give the coach special plays that they have access to, in addition to the default. So that's the second piece. I needed a playbook, because these plays are what every player has to execute, and they have all the data related to them in the back end that says, hey, the players have to go, they do X, Y, and Z throughout the play. These plays are actually there's a lot going on in the back end data for me anyway. I don't know how other people do it, but like I have what are they doing at these points, whether or not they're they're going to go out, and what are they going to do when they hit the end of the line? They're going to keep running, they're going to stop and settle, they're going to turn into a button. You have a lot of different things of what they can do here. What are we handing off here? What kind of blocking schemes are being set up here? Are they're going to do pass blocking, run blocking? They all have individual assignments, everybody on these fields. And I have a lot of different things that they can do in these plays. And so I have a bunch of skill checks that happen throughout this play. Whenever they run into the defensive players, where they're at, what's going on. And so there's a lot going on with the play editors. But that stuff's kind of all there now. And then the last piece was the game plan, which was actually the first one I built, except I never got around to doing the special plays, which is this thing, which I've been working on for the last week. It's proven to be more of a challenge than I had expected. But once I can create at least a few of the basic things for the special, this is just some rules and things that need to be known when the game starts. Yes, they can fall down. Same with the defenders. But those are really going to be animations is really what's happening. Okay, so say for example the receiver he has a skill check that says how well he's running his route. Now if he succeeds with his skill check versus the defender's skill check, because a lot of skill checks aren't just them, it's them versus the other person. So if the receiver wins, if it's a slight win, he wins by a little, he'll get a step or a little space on the defender. But if it's a big fail, like the defender just totally misses his play, that's when you throw in an animation that says, oh, he fell down or he tripped because he actually lost 3 or 4 or 5 yards on the play or on the player. So yeah, those are animations, but they're going to be dependent on those skill checks. So really it's kind of like the skill checks will determine what animations are going to be shown when I get animations. Right now it's just going to be succeed or fail, and if there's some extreme, it'll move the player accordingly. My first version of the sim, when I finally start working on this, which fingers crossed is coming really quick in the next couple of weeks when I start working on the actual simulation, which means I can go in here, click quick play, it loads up the game, loads up the players, and then they start moving onto the field, they start moving, they start executing plays based on the game plan and the playbook and all that. So that's what I'm excited about. Like, oh, I'm almost there. I can almost start working on that. But there will be no animations at first. It's just players on the field, and then I'm going to have them moving, but it'll just be sliding them around on the field. So when a player moves, he's just going to be, go for to catch the ball, and the ball's going to be, ball's there. It'll be interesting to see them just be on the field, because I'll be sliding them around on the field, relocating them, and having them move based on speed, on my speed settings. But there won't be any animations yet, because I don't have any animations yet. There's going to come a point, like at first, I'm just creating it all to get everything working, and then animations come later. Both. The plan is this. On the PC, it's a purchase. It's an app that you buy. I haven't decided yet. It depends on how many of my features I get in there. It'll probably be somewhere between $15 and $20. I'm thinking 15 because I don't think I'm going to have all the features I want in it right away. So I'll probably go lower on initial release. But my game is being designed, as you can see on the screen here. This is a simulator for a Galaxy phone. It's going to work on PC and mobile. Now, my first builds are just Android and PC. So all my testing has been going on in Android and PC. I actually have a version of it on my phone already, just so that I can kind of see that things are loading and functioning and doing the same thing they do on the phone as they do on the PC here. But on the phone version, you obviously have to be online to install the game, but it has a fully offline functionality that allows you to play all of like the AI stuff and all the basic stuff free offline. You won't be able to play against other people or do anything like that offline. The offline AI only stuff is free. If you want to start doing the play with other people options, play in leagues that have other people in them, have second teams. I actually created a whole list of features and things that I'm going to separate between as the paywall. But what I'm not going to do, my game is not going to be like a lot of these games that have what I call pay to play. You don't have to pay to play, and it's certainly not pay to win. There's nothing in my game that's going to be pay to win, but I'm not going to have pay to play. If you want to just run an AI league with the limitations that are there, you can do that all you want. Just play it as much as you want. It's yours. It's just like, just do whatever. There's no limit, but some functionalities and features will be available to paid options. And what that means is if you pay the $15 or $20 that is the full version for the PC, all your versions then become linked. So in other words, you can play your game, it'll sync online, and then you can go open it up on the PC. and then you can go back and open it on the phone, and then you can go back and open it on the PC. You can play it in multiple places. Oh, and when you're on your phone, you don't need internet. It'll just sync back up when you get back onto the internet, when you have internet. So if you're like somewhere that you can't connect to the internet, it's not going to stop you from playing the game. So you can still just sit back on your camping chair and play the game. And you can edit if you do have online game, say you've paid for it, all of your online only stuff is available to you. You just can't, in other words, you can manage your team, you can manage your playbook, you can manage your game plan, but they won't have any effect on your next game unless you get them synced online beforehand. So like if you go camping and you're like, okay, I have a game this weekend, I'm going to work on my game plan and my playbook and all that, but then you have to find an opportunity to get online before your game kicks off. Leagues with people are scheduled. So in other words, they're not running all the time. I'm going to try to have leagues that have different schedule lengths. Like a week might be 3 days, so that means games go faster. Or you might have a week that's 7 days and it schedules and your games run normally. So that's kind of how I'm going. What features and functionality, I have my list. I don't know. I don't remember because I'm not working on that part yet. But there are pieces and parts that are going to be kind of but I don't know if I want to do. There's going to be very few, at least up front. What do you call it? There's going to be very few purchases that are constant. What I'm thinking of doing is having some special kinds of leagues that you can pay to join that might run, on occasion. I have one in mind that I want to do that's going to run once a year. But there might be special like Champions Leagues, like if you've won your own. It's going to be one-time purchases, except for like if you join a league, you want to be in the same. Like if you want to join my what I call the couch quarterback. What is it? Armchair quarterback league, which is to say you're going to get your players will all be an actual team in the NFL, but again, it's all renamed and all that, but you're going to have the same players, their stats, and those stats will update every week. So really it'll be your game plan, your playbook, but you're going to play on the same schedule and days and times and have the same amount of practice time for your players each week. But it re-updates your stats every week based on what actually performed in the league. So we'll update it up like on, after the games are played, and then that's your stat. Those are your guys for the week. And then you can run your practices and whatever effects they have, great. And then you can set your playbook and game plan. So you can see how your team would do. Like say, for example, I'm the Broncos, right? I'm a Broncos fan. So I would take the V-Born Scorned, and I would want to be playing them. The V-Born Scorned are the Broncos on my game here. And I would say, all right, well, I have all of the Broncos that are being played. Whoever the schedule is, I'll play that same schedule, but I can kind of set my own game plan. So maybe I win and they don't. Or maybe I get blown out and they don't. But you get to actually have this league running, and you'll be in it with other people. They'll all be controlling other teams. So you try to get your team. So that's kind of one of the purchase leagues, and that only happens obviously once a year because it runs on the same schedule as the NFL. And maybe, but you can also have in my game. Good question. Okay, so in my game, you can buy multiple leagues. Like if you want to be in more than one league, by default, the free is being able to play AI League, and you can do whatever, but it's one league. If you want to be in like a people league, PvP league, maybe you want to be in a Champions League, maybe you want to be in one of these other leagues. Some of these other leagues are going to be like, they'll have an entry fee. Probably not much, $5, $10 to be in those leagues. So that's kind of how I'm thinking the money's going to be. It'll be people who want to play in these special event kind of leagues. And there will be some special event leagues, by the way, for the free players too, that you earn through success in the game. But those will be different. Beta. Yeah, I know. No. I'm not gonna start getting myself into dealing with that. No, there's too many legal implications with that nonsense. But people are welcome to do whatever they want on the side, but I'm not gonna get involved with that. As far as beta goes, I want to be an alpha this year, but beta, I don't think I'm gonna make this year. I don't think I'm gonna get there. I'm hoping I can get to alpha before long. If I can get the simulation going pretty good, that's when I can start. I think I'll be an alpha, because that's when I have a game that's end to end. I'll have the create account, I'll have the create team, create playbook, create game plan, simulate a game, and I hopefully can get the league scheduling kind of going, so you can actually have that and actually play a league. But it'll be alpha, so it'll be pretty weak. It's going to be kind of invitation only, because it's not going to be everybody allowed. But once that gets ironed out and is fairly bug free, and I'm starting to get more and more features in there, because like at that point I'm missing some key elements, right? I don't have draft yet. I don't have training, practices and training and all that. I have that stuff all designed. I just don't have it all in the system. And I don't have like waiver wires, free agency, that kind of things. I don't have those in there yet. So hiring coaching staff, hiring and firing, that kind of thing, the ability to buy a second team, that stuff's all coming down the road. And of course, all of the monetization that has to be in there. So there's a lot of those. And it's just takes time. Right now, I only get to work on it kind of sort of part-time, because I have to do other things because I'm not making any money. I don't have a full-time job either, but I go out and DoorDash for a few hours, and then I try to take care of stuff at home, and I try to do some things for marketing, kind of start working on a Reddit page, whatever. I have a lot of things that don't let me go heads down into the app. So it slows me down. I lose I lose 4 or 5 hours a day just on that. So I probably only get 7 to 10 hours a day on the game, which is still quite a bit. And I work 6 to 7 days. Saturdays, I work for like 2 hours. Because I don't really work on Saturdays, but it's like right before I go to bed, I'll work for a little bit. Saturday's my rest day. I don't do anything to do with the game. I say that, but the last 2 weeks I did, and it's not good, but I did it because I keep wanting to. I'm almost to the point where I can show it off to people. I've actually got it on a phone. And the more features and functionality I can get in there, I can actually say, hey, check this out. And I load it up, and I can say, check out my game. It's kind of cool. And I start bouncing around on the game and get people excited with me, Most people are liking where it's headed, but, we're not there yet. And hopefully, though, I'm getting closer. Whoa, that loaded weird. Why did that load so weird? Oh, okay. So there's some weird stutters too. I'm trying to figure out why things stutter the way they do. I don't know if that's a Unity thing or if that's I don't know. I don't like that. It's not performant, See how it stops there? I think what I needed to do is, yeah, I don't know. There's something missing there. Something's off. Do I have that many players on there? Jeez. What is that? Defensive line? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow. Is there really that many defensive linemen on this team? Good grief. 4. Oh. Okay, something's weird. Yeah, I got a bug. See, look, I got DE4, D2. But look, if I go like this, there's DE4 again. There he is again. One, two, three. And then how you... Oh, because I dragged him up. Huh. D12? Where are you seeing D12? Hey, Sun Wukong, how's it going? So earlier I showed you this, I showed you my dragging this player over to here. And what it's supposed to do is change his depth position. But all it did is reorder it. In other words, by moving him into the defensive end zone, defensive end section, it should have turned him into a defensive end and moved that guy down. I may have to figure out how to separate these somehow. I'm not convinced on my layout here. Well, for one, this doesn't look great. But what this is these are multi ranges. So this is passing skills and field goal accuracy. And what these are is it's supposed to be giving you at different ranges, but they're wrapped, and when it wrapped, it got all weird. And these are all 56 because these guys aren't kickers. I've been looking at some other games to see how they do it as far as providing layout. But 56 is like the bottom. This is the worst the guy can be. But they all have all the skills. Any number that's above 56 is calculated based on their true-to-life NFL stats. But 56 is they don't have any NFL stats, so they end up with the bare minimum. Now, there are occasionally players that are like just above 56, like 57 or 58, and they just have really bad stats at that position. Huh. But yeah, so that's what I've been kind of working on, trying to get this to work. See, I look at the way that loaded. But if I leave, oh, that's another bug. If I click too fast, it doesn't always reset. So if I click here and then click back, I can't, it'll never open right now. It'll just do this. Yeah, I know, I got bugs. I'm trying to figure out why. I kind of fixed it earlier. I don't know what I did earlier that made it. But something's got this squashed again. Dang it. Oh, my add news not working. Oh, that reset it. That's still not working. Okay, there's that. Or that. Or that. Okay. My refactor broke stuff apparently. My buttons aren't popping up, or my screen ain't popping up. I broke it. Trying to refactor stuff. Okay, so we're here. So we call. All right, what did I do? Inspector wiring needed. Yeah, he's in the situations panel, especially. Or do I have something? No. No. Oh, here you go. Add edit situations. Oh, okay. We got to turn that back. Aha! Well, that ain't gonna work until I stop this. I'm not wired up. Yeah, no, you're right. I do need to do that. It's just one of those things I've seen in my history, and it's kind of like with some bugs lately, it's been one of those, well, I'm not going to forget about it because it's going to keep popping up. And I tend to get annoyed by stuff. It's like, for example, I had a little white space on this today. And it's been sitting there for months because I never cut it off correctly off of this image. And today it finally annoyed me to the point where I went and fixed it. It's just, that's how I am. Like I'll have this one little quirk that just I just let it slide. I keep saying it's not important. It's not important. It's not important. And now I'm like, it's important. I gotta fix it. Okay, so that would explain why I wasn't loading up. Yeah, I need to get that fixed, but there's also a... Okay, so I have 100 plays, and they all have to line up and load up to their graphics and their data. So it takes a little bit of time, but it doesn't seem like it should take that much time, you know? I feel like it's slower than it needs to be. And it just feels there's just some things that are happening that just feel clunky, so I gotta fix those. But that's when I start getting into the cleanup phase. Right now, let's just get the functionality in, and then I can go in and start figuring out what's going on, why some stuff is slow. Nope, that's still not working. Maybe there's that. Well, what am I missing? I wired them up, so that's not a problem anymore. Situation settings panel. Oh, that one's got all of its settings. Situation settings panel, special settings panel. I already did that. Yep, that's all set. Oh, that's all this. Huh. Yeah, and that's kind of like what people will notice if they've been watching my development of this over the last 18 months. That my UI stuff slowly changes over time. If you go back a year, I had a totally different aesthetic. My scrolls were sideways. They didn't move. They were different colors. I was going with the. I mean, again, the idea is I want this to be kind of a fantasy theme, right? So you've got all of the characters have been made into creatures, fantasy, all of the humans, all of the players, and even the coaches. But I was going with a really deep fantasy look, and it seemed like when I do tend to I use AI for my art because I'm not an artist, so sorry haters, you're gonna get AI art. This image I got to change. I like this image, but it's got way too many AI bugs in it, and it's driving me crazy. This football field is a mess. So yeah, I gotta work on that. But what I really want to do though with my home screen, I actually started working on this 3D home screen, which I'm not even going to show you because it's not even near done. But I want to turn it into a 3D home screen where basically all these buildings are assets, they're actual buildings. And then instead of having like all of these menus, I still have a menu at the top, but it'll be simpler. And things like playbook and roster and game plan will all be actually attached to one of the buildings. So you would go to the coach's hut or the front office building, or you'd go to the training facilities, to do the different things. There'll be actual assets on the screen. So you click on those and that's where you can go do those things. And it'll pop up and you'll still have whatever things you can do there, but it'll just group everything into actual buildings on the screen rather than just buttons across the top. Yeah, that's what I say. And, I think it's kind of hypocritical, really. You hear that a lot of the artists out there who say that using AI art is stealing, work from artists and all this stuff. And yeah, they're all okay with using AI for coding. If you can't, you can't have your cake, you can't have it one way and not the other, because if you can't code, you use AI for coding. Well, why aren't you out there spending your hard-earned money on hiring coders to do it? There's people out there who could be doing that work. You're putting them out of work. It's like, it's kind of hypocritical, really, for people to say this is bad, but it's okay if we use it for this, because there's somebody who's an expert on both sides. And it's funny though, because it's an ugly discussion. But most people are like, here's my opinion on it. Tools inevitably put somebody out of work. The more advanced the tool is, the more people that don't end up doing that job anymore, right? So really what we're going to have to do is learn how to teach people to use AI correctly. Your entry level will be people who know how to manage the AI, but your higher end people will be able to manage it better. They're going to learn how to code and do their things using these tools. And people need to stop being so concerned about it putting entry level people out of work. Well, it's putting entry level out of work now because people are still being trained to be the AI level coder. And that's the mistake. Stop teaching people to be an AI level coder. Teach people to be a level 1 AI user so that they can come in at entry level and know how to use AI and know how to maximize it and be productive with it and fix its problems and keep it from going off the rails, make clean code and do the job right using the tool. Now, more advanced people might get more done and be better at it, but they're going to be at the higher end, right? They're going to be the ones that are experts at that, using your tools. I mean, it's kind of like the same thing if you think about a lot of the work that people are exactly. That's exactly right. It's the way it is. I mean, I've used farming equipment for an example at one point, right? There used to be a lot of people who used to have to trudge, and they would hire people to come in and pick crops and plant seeds and plow fields, and there would be lots of people who were doing this work. Now, yeah, it's physical labor. Nobody wants to do it, theoretically, I guess. But still, that was work people could do. And it's just like a John Henry story, right? This guy was able to be smarter and better than the machine, but nobody wanted to do it. And if you really think about it, there's a lot of people who don't want to do art, don't want to code. It doesn't mean, so having a tool that'll help you do that, yeah, there's people who can outperform the tool. But sometimes technology just says, screw it. Why would the vast majority of people don't want to do that? They want to be able to create, move on, do this, build that. And they don't want to do that. Yeah, somebody can outdo it. But hey, people, John Henry was able to do it, but he died. And that's kind of what it says. That's the whole moral of that story. It's like, it's going to die off. The way we did things are going to die off. And, it's the same way with, all the horse breeders out there who lost their jobs because nobody was buying horses anymore for just carriages and everything else, all the maintenance, all the stables, all those people who and the blacksmiths that all their whole lives and careers are built around using horses. And then we stopped using horses, and now you have to rebuild the market. They exist, but in a much smaller capacity. Dude, I'm nearly 500,000 lines of code in my game right now. It's been cranking. And that's just my stuff. That's not the, because Unity and Go and all the tools I'm using all have a bunch of other crap they throw in there. That's just their system stuff. And that goes off. They say, for example, Unity creates an asset for everything you create. That's not code you do. You don't create that, but it's just Unity creates one. So if you create 200 files of Unity, 200 Unity files, you end up with 400 Unity files because they create these asset files that go with them. They're meta. So you end up with double files. No, there is no amount of, I could have wrote for one thing, when your app gets a certain size, it's just no longer practical that you would even know. You could have known in the beginning everything that you have in it at the end. Like right now, I've done so much more in this game already. I planned out the big picture. Like I want this. But there's no way I could have, if I would have told AI I want these things, it would have been a mess. It would have been crap. Because ultimately, all these pieces required like their own set of pieces just to make it fully functional. Like getting my game plan working, all the services and functions and methods and calls and AI and syncing and air handling and all the other stuff I had to build just to get the game plan working and the playbook and the roster. And then you have to display it and all that other stuff, which is a bunch of more code. And yeah, I could not have conceived all the detail minutia to even tell AI. And that's the thing. You can't, there's nobody out there who can really think of all of the minutia that goes into making a complex application. It's just too much. Even if you gave somebody just a piece, they're probably going to end up it's going to end up being more difficult than all that to get AI to do it right, especially on a single prompt. Or even 30 prompts or whatever you want to call it. But AI's, like I said, it's a great tool. The amount of code it's written for me and helped me get through is, there's no amount, even though I've had to, it's kind of like what I say is like 5 steps forward, 2 steps back. So every now and then, it's like 5 weeks of AI advancing, 2 weeks of kind of finagling it, resetting it, a little refactoring, cleaning it up, and then I move forward again. Just because that's kind of how I figure. It's like a 5-to-2 ratio. There's no way I could have done that 5 weeks in an amount of time that it would have probably taken me a lot longer than that. So for me, it's worth it. The 2 weeks of backtracking or cleanup to make sure the code is not stupid. And I don't always do it in that ratio, but or in that interval. I don't like 5 weeks, 2 weeks, 5 weeks, 2 weeks. It's more like 5 days, 2 days, that kind of thing. But it just depends on what I'm doing and how much time it takes to get it. A lot of times I'll let AI kind of get the base working, and that's when I step through it and make sure that it's not a mess. And then I kind of re-straighten it. Yeah, yeah, you gotta be careful with AI because it will break stuff, but it's actually pretty good sometimes at refactoring too. Like I've when I created ClickUp Link, which I love, I love ClickUp Link. It was a little tool I created. It's so awesome that lets me connect ClickUp to my app, to my source code, and then I can put links to my ClickUp stuff right in my code. So it's like this function goes to this task and this function goes to that task, and so I can kind of go through and start finishing off my ClickUp task list project. But when I first created it, I didn't know anything about the tools I was using because it's all written in TypeScript, and I didn't know how it was going to connect. And so I had AI, how would this happen? Is this possible? Is this possible? So I designed it out, built the structure, worked with AI just to get the concept going. And then I kind of let it build. And then as I started realizing how it was doing it, because again, I understand code, I just can't write some languages because I've never used them before. But when I see it in line, I'm going, oh, it's trying to do this and this, and it's doing that. And I'm like, why is it doing this? It ended up creating, as I kept building it and finagling in all my features, it built like 70, 80 files. And it wasn't supposed to be that big of an app because it's pretty straightforward what I needed it to do. There were some complex pieces, but they weren't in depth. And I was saying, there's something wrong here. So I started looking at all this code. I'm like, okay, this feels like much. So I took it back to a different AI, like you're saying, and I go, I feel like there's a lot of redundancy and bloat in this. Can you kind of figure out what's dead code? Because only certain things were working, and I knew it wasn't hitting all this code. And I told it, I said, these things function like I want them to. These particular files are doing their thing. Can you go through and see what's not being called in these pathways? And I ended up dropping it down to like 30 files. I dropped like 40 files of code because I knew it wasn't supposed to be this complicated, but what was happening is AI, along with my not knowing what I was doing, kept rebranching. It would like, oh, you want this, and I said, all right, well, let me do this, and then it would rebranch and it would orphan code. That's the thing about AI, is it doesn't clean up code. It doesn't like to delete things. And even now in my code, I have to tell it over and over again, this app is not, there's no version of it in production. There's not even a test version of it. It's not out there yet. Nothing I do right now needs to be backward compatible. It doesn't need any migrations. I don't need any, what was the other thing? It was migrations and backward compatibility. Basically, and I don't want to I don't want to update anything. No updates. Everything needs to be as though it was created for the first time. So I don't want it adding columns to tables using column add scripts. I just create the table as it is, and if we need to, I'll just regenerate the database, because that's what I've been doing. I just rebuild the database. I like to do that because it makes sure that when I deploy this out to the world, everything builds correctly. So every time I add new stuff, I'm like, I'm just going to rebuild it anyway. So just don't stop creating backward compatibility, because that's dumb. I'm not keeping any of the old stuff. There ain't going to be any crap in my code or in my app. So we don't need backward compatibility. But it keeps doing it anyway, because AI doesn't like to get rid of stuff. I don't know if it's trying to protect its own butt. I don't know. Check stuff in frequently. I check stuff in GitHub. I've gotten much better at it. I still get up to 100 plus files sometimes, but within a week or two, I try to check in at least once a week. And then when you make changes and stuff, that's when you do the refactors, and you kind of like, okay, I broke this irreparably. Check that one back out, try again, that kind of thing. But so yeah, you got to be definitely got to be careful with that stuff. But AI is pretty good at rewriting things sometimes. If you give it enough detail as to what you want, what works, don't just let it just look at something and go, okay, this looks wrong. No, just tell it what works, what you don't want broken, what all the functional threads that do work, and then have it say, okay, what's not happening here? What stuff looks orphan to you? What's duplicate code? And AI will help find it, clean it up, and then you don't have as much garbage clutter. See here, let's go see this. Now I should have now it's calling the situations panel. Huh. You might as well be telling it to think hard on this one, because it's like, oh, I gotta beat this. I gotta show AI. I gotta show Anthropic. I gotta show ChatGPT. You know what? Starting a new session is basically saying the same thing. Can you look at this code and tell me what was done wrong? And AI will be like, huh, yeah, this is messed up. And you're like, yeah, I know, you did it. Because AI can't remember, or it has no idea who did the last thing. So if you ask Claude to fix its thing in a new session, it's like, dude, this code's messed up, man. What was this guy thinking? It's like, you tell me. What is that button? Weird. What do you mean the bigwigs? You mean enterprise level? Or are you talking about the people at Anthropic? I don't know. I mean, they have enterprise levels. So a lot of corporations are just using, all it means is they're getting more access. But it's not like they're getting, I don't think they're getting more AI, smarter AI. They're just getting more of it. Oh. Yeah. But I've heard a lot of what they're coming up with is experimental, so it's very one of the things they've been talking about is what was it? Some kind of bug finder thing that can look at code and find out all the security holes in it. And I guess it's got some serious security problems of its own because it has too much. It has too much. I don't know, too much access, too much potentially destructive. Is it doing anything? Oh, what's going on here? Gameplan UI Manager. So I'm hoping in the next couple days to get another Android build. Finally get an Android build that I can actually take out into the world and show to people. I gotta get this game plan thing working. For me, the next big I'm on my way thing is, okay, so at one point when I was just starting out the simulation pieces of it, I got the play simulator or the quick play working in that it would pick a team and then load the two teams up. And it just put them on the sidelines. They were just players on the sidelines. And they're all the same model because I only have like 2 models right now. And they're just ones I created, AI of course. And I just put these models on the field. Here's another reason why I don't think I'm going to get this released in the next year. Even if I was to get a lot of the functionality in place, the other missing parts, I have so much graphical parts to do. I got to do animations. I got to figure out. I don't have any clue how to do the meshes and the shaders, to change the colors of uniforms because they can't all be wearing the same uniforms. They got to get them to the Vborn Scorned have to wear their colors, and the Saints or not the Saints, the Divas and all of my players, the Lizards and the Snakes and all these guys all have their own, their team colors. They got to have those. But the thing is, I'm worried because the way I went about this created a lot of players that aren't exactly the same. Although they're humanoid and they're similarly, I can't just say they're all the same. So I can't just say change colors, change these lines, change this jersey, change these lines, change that jersey, because some of them are different. They're proportionally off. I have no idea how I'm going to do the Snakes, by the way, as far as animations go. Most of my guys have arms and legs, so they're just going to be a chest, but I still have to figure out how to get the jerseys on them. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. And here's my secret hope. Was it hope? Hope? I don't know. My secret hope, my secret prayer is that once I get this functioning and I have a simulation of sorts that's working even without all that stuff, that I can go and do a Kickstarter and start trying to get maybe even a publisher who's interested, who's willing to help out by paying me not only to eat, but also to hire or get some help with the graphics parts, the animations, get some people who are good at that stuff to help me start working on the animations and the character art. And if they want to start help, or not just the character art, but the shaders and the meshes and stuff that I need to give them color. So those are my two things that are going to be the most important to me. And then what I'm going to do is I'm hoping to actually replace a lot of the character images you see with the actual models. So then I can change their colors based on who they are, right? So if I have the model on the screen, if I have the ability to change their colors or mesh their jerseys and stuff, I'll just be able to load the model in the game card, and then I'll have them doing like a breathing motion or something. I don't know if that's possible. It's probably to some extent. I probably have to load scenes or something. It's probably going to be weird. Might be more complicated than I need to, but we'll see. Ultimately, I just want to be able to change their jerseys and stuff, and I haven't figured out how to do that. So I need talent on my side. Anyway, guys, it's been a long stream. I'm exceeding my stream goals, which is usually an hour at a time, and I need to go eat some dinner. So I'll be back later because I always am. Till next time, God bless.